So I'm here with Christopher.
Hello. Hello.
He's my new sound guy and one of my actors that'll be in some of the movies coming up here.
Quite a few productions, yes, yes.
You may have known him from his role as Star in Still.
I was the wimp who left the chick to die. Essentially, that was my role. I'm glad I lived through my first horror film, because most people who make horror films, usually their first one, especially being a rookie, they die horribly. So,
the best part is that the non-virgin male got away.
Yeah, because I'm totally, well, there's people who would contest that I am a virgin, but it depends on what hole you're talking about.
And on that note,
yeah.
we changed to what we're actually doing. Yes. So right now, what we're doing, and as you'll see here, we'll bring it up on the screen, but what we're doing is we're actually recording through the magic of Bandicam our process for doing Two Guys Too Much TV. Now, you'll see that we're using Sony Vegas for the software. Usually we use Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere, and then we put it in the Vegas for finalizing, but since it's just Two Guys Too Much TV and we didn't have to do any special effects, we kind of kept it low-key.
Thank God.
Yeah, so we went and actually filmed this at, what was it?
Mind Games?
Well, no, not the location, but what time. We got there like 9 o'clock.
We left here at like 8:30.
Yeah.
We got there about 9.
We didn't start filming until like 11.
Actually, yeah, it was like...
after all the talking, it was 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
so, and we filmed about, I would say, an hour and 5 minutes worth of footage.
And maybe a little bit more audio, because we recorded just banter in between sometimes.
So we're currently cleaning that up right now.
Anyone out there who has an idea or wants to do something like this, audio is key. Make sure that when you cut audio as well if you're using a separate mic, because it takes the longest. Right here, what we're doing is probably the worst part of it all, because you got to sync. If you do audio separately, you have to sync with the voice, with the lips. You have to, you have to find your spot or where you're at, where you want to be. It's a lot of work. So
yeah, as you can see right here, we've actually got the part synced up, and you can see that the actual video itself over here.
The video audio is we have to it's
yeah, as you can see, it's so
yeah, you see that's what you want to get. But now go ahead and move it and throw it off so that they can see how you can get it off, and then it doesn't match with the video, and then you find yourself in.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Two Guys Too Much TV.
As you can see.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Two Guys Too Much TV.
Although, even with this, like, the audio is not too far off. I mean, let's do it this way so people can kind of understand.
Yeah, here you go. Now you'll get a clear understanding of what we're talking about. Yeah, you hear the clap and he's talking.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
So I mean, and it's even the smallest things. I mean,
yes.
we've been.
If you're off by a millisecond, it can eventually by the end of the clip be off by a second.
Exactly. We've actually run into that issue where.
Yes, we just fixed that issue on a clip. So.
Yeah, that was the previous part on this actual interview.
Audio is key. I mean, camera work is also key, but audio is. It will kill a film, it will kill an interview, it will kill anything you try to do. If you don't have the audio correct, it will fuck up the whole thing. Excuse my language, but it will.
Another thing just to kind of think about on here is that we're working in Sony Vegas. So we have the effect, right now we have it under the music layer because of the fact of our voice layer is being currently run by the video layer.
Yes. And I can tell you right now, Sony, it'd be the best if you're getting into things like this. If you're an amateur, go with the Sony, because it'll help you a lot. It'll show you things if you don't know. I mean, it's pretty easy to use. I just watched them do it yesterday, and I could probably do this myself right now. So
exactly. And another thing,
it's not difficult.
Yeah. Now you'll see on here the film footage that we're using the Canon T3. I suggest using like the T3i or the T2i when you're doing video, only because you have the ability to actually hook the mic right into the actual port on the camera.
Yeah.
which makes the recording so much better. But we're recording on a separate audio receiver.
Yes, which that's the like I was saying, that's the thing about the audio. And if you got a cameraman and you're running separate audio, you have to make sure that you are on sync with your cameraman. When he says go, you gotta go on your audio. When he cuts on the camera, you gotta cut on the audio. Otherwise, you'll run into problems like we have.
Exactly.
Which I mean, it's fun, but it's time consuming. But yeah, it's fun to do, but it's time consuming, and it can be a headache sometimes.
And being, I've got Chris here now, and it's been a great help having him, because
it's been a lot of fun also collaborating with an old friend, getting together and doing things like this. Like when we were younger, we always, we were always in the woods and playing around, but for some reason none of us ever thought to bring a camera.
So well, I think cameras were expensive back then.
Yeah, that too. But now it's a lot more fun because we're adults and we can still run around in the woods, but now we have a camera, so we can show you all the stupid stuff we do.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we just got the exterior mic, the Audio-Technica mic, and I'll tell you...
And it's nice.
Exactly. It's nice to have it, because if you watch Still, the short that Chris is in, we weren't able to use any of the audio because we had the camera audio, and we had so much wind that day that the wind shear just killed anything. You couldn't have any conversation, and I think...
Yeah, so my first horror film also was a silent horror film, which made it even easier for me, because if you're doing a movie, especially your first one after not acting since, like, school, it's a little nerve-wracking. You don't want to forget lines, you don't want to look like an amateur, which you are anyways, but...
Exactly.
It's just... Movie making is a fun process if you put your heart and soul into it. If you don't want to do it, then I suggest don't even try.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean to be discouraged if the first time thing. I mean, I've been doing Two Guys Too Much TV for years now, and like I'm just now getting into the fact of like getting that really good audio, that really good video, and
the editing and the audio, the post production is probably the biggest. It's probably the most key. I mean, pre-production is always key because you got to have your script right, you got to have your people set up right. I mean, of course, and regular production itself is key too because you don't want to mess up during that. But post production is the biggest thing that you got to make sure everything is timed right, everything fits together perfectly. There's no lags, there's no, audio, just like I said before, a millisecond off can end up by the end of the clip being a full second off or more. So, yeah, definitely post-production is key. So pay attention.
Yeah. But, yeah, again, and then just don't be afraid if your audio is off a little bit. That's just something that happens. Go back and fix it.
And if you're doing this type of thing, that means you have internet. So if you get stuck on something, don't be afraid to Google, and or go online and talk to your friends that know how to do this, or just message somebody that is on YouTube, and ask them how they do it. I mean, there's a wide community of people out here who do these type of things that will help you if you need help.
Yeah, and if you have any real questions, I mean, we
there's
have
always
Two
Guys Too Much TV. Always there,
Yeah, we don't mind answering questions.
There's a Facebook page. There's a YouTube page. I mean,
there's a website.
Yeah, there's a website. So don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. And then we're also going to be getting more into this. I mean, now that I've started to accumulate a crew and actually getting where I'm not, the one guy doing everything, because beforehand I was the guy doing the special effects makeup.
He was the great and powerful Oz, pretty much.
Yeah, that's about how it feels anymore. But it's nice to be able to start working with the crew and getting collaboration in, because...
I'll be your Dorothy.
You're like my Tito. Don't you mean Toto? No, I mean Tito.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
We just call me T-Dog for short.
But yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's the whole thing. And another thing, and this is just from us working together on just this small project so far, find people that you're good with.
Yes.
Like people that you like hanging out with. I mean...
People who understand the way you think and the way you want to do things, and you don't want somebody to come in after you've been doing this for so long and just be like, oh, well, you're not doing it right, especially if they don't know, You got to keep an open mind and you got to flow together as a whole. You got to work together. It's give and take. You can't just act like you're the dominant one or they're the dominant one. You have to work together.
Exactly, and I mean, that's, with Tiny, that's a great thing, too. I mean, he's great. He's got very much charisma, but he's got a lot on his plate. I mean, I can't, say, oh, you're not here helping editing, that's a bad thing. because
he's the talent.
Exactly. You know, he's the guy. You know, one of the reasons people watch Two Guys Too Much TV is that he's a very charismatic man, and
he's sexy. Let's
oh
just cut
yeah,
right
come
to
on,
it. He's
yeah,
sexy.
exactly. And I mean, without him, I wouldn't have even started this. I mean, like every time I go back, I always, you know, I thank the people who helped me start. I mean,
I know, and I wish I would have been there at the beginning too, to start it with everybody, because jumping in at this stage, it kind of feels like I'm behind a little bit. But with friends who work with you, they show you what you're missing, and then eventually, like a couple days doing this, and you got it. It's not hard as long as you got the support and the team there to help you along your way.
Exactly. And it's the basics. I mean, just go out, shoot some stuff, record some stuff, and then play with it. I mean, that's the worst thing that happens. You end up with like a movie like Still, where like the audio got fucked up and it's all screwed up. And
it's you got to make mistakes to figure out how to make anything. I mean, you learn in this industry and this thing. You learn by trial and error. All the greats out there who do films, and the most famous producers and everything like that, they will tell you that the reason they learned how to do most of their things is by screwing up and going back and redoing it over and over and over again until they got it right, which is, it's time consuming, and you will get frustrated, you will get mad, but if you really want to do this, you will just stick it out and do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, having people here now and actually having like the startings of a crew, I mean, I finally got my dream set up, is that, Oathblade Productions is now starting to work.
It's going to be an official thing.
Exactly.
This summer it will, well, it's already official, but by this summer it will be legit. Oathblade Productions, crew, cameras, actors, whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
And hopefully a studio.
We're not holding our breath on the studio just yet, because of the fact of, that's a step where we need to start making more money.
But anyone out there, I mean, if you got extra space and you want to let us use it, we're game.
And if you're in the local area.
Yeah, if you're in the local area, definitely.
We're not going to California, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Don't call us from Las Vegas and be like, yeah, hey, you can come and use my garage, because that's obviously not going to work. We can't afford to fly there every other weekend.
Now, if you, own like a great giant, 20 acres in the desert, sure, we'll come down.
yeah, we'll camp.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
Just not your shed in the back of your like creepy house.
Yes, no, and please don't ask us if we want any cookies, because we will not eat them.
Well, I don't know.
Unless they're homemade chocolate chip cookies, that's the kicker right there.
Exactly.
We might eat those, but we will feed them to an animal first to make sure they're not poisoned.
Most likely a cat.
Yes. Cats are crafty like that.
Exactly. They'll tell you if it's poison.
Yeah.
Shit, poison.
I'm a cat. I know.
This smells fishy.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get this going here.
Exactly. So we're gonna end this here. But as you guys can see, this is just a little bit behind the scenes of what's going on with us with Oathblade Productions and what we're working on. So you can see we're actually still working and we're getting things done. But look forward, probably in the next couple of months, probably in March or April, we'll be...
A lot more projects coming up.
Exactly. So
a lot more projects coming up.
Exactly. So once we get that, we'll post them up and you guys will be able to see them. But otherwise, this is Oathblade with Oathblade Productions, here with Chris, my actor/audio guy.
That's me. Sexy beard, remember that.
Yeah. The fake beard.
And the hat. It's my lucky hat. You will rarely see me without it.
Exactly. Except for in the movies.
Yes.
But thank you guys.